Hey, you're listening to Stop the Scroll, a social media marketing podcast, and I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt. I'm a social media strategist and agency owner with over 15 years of marketing experiences helping businesses grow online. We'll be diving into what you need to know so that you can show up confidently online without the overwhelm. Get your notebook ready to jot down some amazing marketing gems, and let's dive into it. Welcome back to another episode of Stop the Scroll. I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt, and today we are now in July, so we are taking a little mid-year look at our strategy and how we realign our marketing for growth to make sure that we hit our 2025 goals. So here's my question to you, and feel free to DM me or answer on Instagram, reach out to me on Facebook, whatever, wherever you want to reach out to me. Are you growing? Are you coasting? Or are you just plain overwhelmed? So I, for one, cannot believe that we're already in July. I feel like it was just January and I had all these ideas and all these ambitions, and I've accomplished some of them. So the biggest accomplishment is that our masterclass is now open for registration, and it is exciting. Hopefully, I'm going to turn it into a course. We'll see. But that was my big goal for this year, was to diversify my revenue. And I have absolutely done that. It's been going pretty well, I think. There are obviously some lessons when you add a new service in. So yeah, it's been pretty good. For those of you who know or who don't know, I did just launch a political campaign. And, I've kind of tested the waters, being like, hey, this is happening. And it's funny because I have these mixed feelings about how much I want to talk about my campaign and my politics, because, that turns a lot of people off. Although it is a great privilege to be able to not be political when things don't impact you directly, so you feel like you don't have to care about them. Like, that is an insane privilege. And many of us have that privilege, it's okay. But I've always been political. And just to kind of share a little bit about my why and why I'm doing this and why I'm even talking about this now, because it has led me to reevaluate pretty much everything in my business. So the next 400 something days until the general election in 2026 are going to be a lesson for me as, someone who will have to become a master delegator, and which is notoriously something that I'm really hard at. I self-admittedly am really hard to delegate. And, I held a launch event a couple weeks ago, and one of my biggest meltdowns was because I was trying to do everything. And my husband's like, you need to tell me what to do. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know. If you need support, you need to ask for it, and we can figure out, where I can support you and all that stuff. So huge lesson in delegation. Huge lesson in delegation, which I feel like is something that a lot of us business owners, some of us are better at it than others. For me, and this is my recovering perfectionist mindset, many of the amazing women in my mastermind also kind of suffer from this. People that I hire just aren't going to do it as good as me, which is a terrible mindset. And it's something that I have been working on for years now, since I've started building a team. But it is my biggest challenge, and the biggest hurdle that I'm trying to get over right now is letting go. So yeah, that's the big thing that I am working on. But now, in kind of some of us have slower seasons in summer, so it is a great time to kind of reassess, hey, do I need to adjust those goals? What's going well? What's not? What kind of content is driving leads? What isn't? You can do a quick audit of your own social media. So I would encourage you to, one, get into your Google Analytics and see, hey, am I even driving traffic from social media? Because if you're not, then that's huge red flag. And then look at your individual platforms, probably Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn for most of you. What's the content that is kind of driving leads, or that is driving engagement, or that is getting the most reach? That's the content that you want to repurpose. What are the most engaged platforms? Is your Instagram going gangbusters, but Facebook is meh? Facebook is meh for a lot of people these days. Are you getting a lot of good engagement with your stories? Consider that. And then think about, what offers or services have sold really, really well over the past 6 months that you can capitalize on. And what was the messaging around that? Finally, because we're all humans, where does your energy feel aligned? I know that my VIP days are doing pretty well. I don't know if I love them. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I love them. I love creating content. I don't know if I love the editing. So I need to consider whether or not I outsource the editing or if I kind of don't offer that. I don't know. Again, when you bring on new services, you have to evaluate all of these things, from your messaging to how well they resonated to even the operational aspects of it. So for as much as we want to evaluate what is working, we also want to consider what's not working. What's not delivering an ROI? Hey, I'm doing a podcast and I've never gotten a lead from it. That's not me. I've gotten leads from my podcast, which I love. It definitely took some time, but it's also evergreen content that I'm putting out there consistently. More so than what content is draining your time with no ROI, what content is draining your energy? I love doing my podcast, honestly. What you hear is what you get with me. I try to be as authentic as possible here while sharing my expertise and my passion for marketing. That's just me. And, I try to share that relatable content of other things going on in my life. Hey, I'm running for political office, because it humanizes us, right? I've had lots of conversations with clients lately about that humanizing content that builds that connection. And there are so many ads on Instagram, and this is going to be me going on a little bit of a rant. I have seen so many ads on Instagram about how, it's not just about that. You need a strategy, blah, blah, blah. Well, yes. Everyone needs a strategy. No one needs another template. No one needs another flippin' hook sheet thing. I do have one. I don't really promote it, though. It was from a couple of years ago, so meh. But I do have that as a lead magnet. But so does every other social media manager, to be honest. So I don't really promote it because I don't. That's not what my people are looking for. That is not what they're looking for. So that kind of goes with the offers that you've outgrown. Are there services that you've outgrown? Are there lead magnets that no longer serve you? Look at what's not working, what's not delivering an ROI. And look at the metrics that you've been avoiding. And I say that what are your email open rates? What are your conversion rates? Is your website converting people? Okay, if it's not, how can we optimize it? What are your Instagram insights? Are people clicking to your profile? Are they looking for more information? Are you getting those DMs? All of those kind of metrics, whether they're quantitative or qualitative, need to be considered when you think about what's not working. But more than anything, what's one, it comes down to that ROI, what's actually delivering actual results here, but also the qualitative, because we know when leads come in, I had a client tell me recently that normally the summer is a slow season for her, and it's not. We can't always attribute growth like that, or consistent growth, or consistent phone calls. Sometimes it's not always attributable to social media. But if you're showing up consistently in your business, and this is for what my business coach is about, it's your visibility. How are you putting yourself out there to the community, whether it's social media, whether it's networking, whether it's email, whatever it is. And consider, if it's the accumulation of all of the above, consider which ones are kind of draining your energy and which ones aren't. So think about what's not working. And then I'm going to call this, thanks to my trusty AI assistant for my little outline, the CEO reset checklist. I love Margot. Everyone knows Margot. Margot is how I use ChatGPT. She's my assistant, and everything goes through Margot these days. When I need to ideate, when I need something edited for clarity, Margot's my girl. But the one thing that I haven't used her for, and this is probably an opportunity for me, is reminders. Hey, Margot, based on these meeting notes, can you please add reminders to my Google Calendar? Because holy crap, the month of May and June were a hot mess, mainly because at the end of June, I launched this campaign, and that just took so much time. It was also June, December, everyone, because I sit on the central committee for our county here in Maryland. Our central committee is basically the county party. Each party has one. And so there were all of the campaign launches and fundraisers and this and that and Pride and Juneteenth and all of the things, all of the events. There were a lot of glass balls and there were some plastic balls. And a lot of the plastic balls, quite honestly, got dropped. And we're not curing brain cancer. I had a boss at my first agency job who used to tell us that, like, when we were like working too hard, he's like, girls, you're not curing brain cancer here. Go home. Go home. But that's a whole other story. Anyhow, so when you feel like, sometimes we need that reminder when we're trying to do all of the things, like we need to remind ourselves, unless you are an actual brain surgeon or, someone else who actually saves lives, we're not curing cancer. Obviously, this is our livelihood, but we are allowed to give ourselves some grace. And tangent. So the CEO reset checklist, let's talk about it. So here's what I kind of want you to do. I want you to look at your content calendar over the past 6 months. 1, how consistently were you showing up? Was your messaging aligned with those sales goals that you probably set for yourself back in December, January? If you have a funnel, where are people dropping off? Where are you losing that engagement? Look at your email list. Are you nurturing them? Are you ghosting them? I'm going to be quite honest. I have been ghosting the heck out of my email list the last month. So I am desperately trying. I've had a newsletter probably drafted for like the past probably for like the past month and a half. And it's just been sitting in my drafts. Cue all my perfectionism because I overthink these things all the time. So if you are ghosting them, maybe send an email, like re-engaging them. Review your reels and your video plan. Hey, do I need more video content? Do I need more whatever? Are you stuck in the 100-view jail? Some of my clients are. We're working on getting them out of it. But how can you shift the messaging? Sometimes like we need to remember that our content shouldn't be about us. That's what really makes it captivating. How can we add more storytelling to it to really captivate people? If we're using too much AI, like that can really trigger the 100-view jail also. So like be mindful of that stuff. But I have a spreadsheet template and I'm happy to share it with anyone that wants it. It's not a lead magnet. I'm just happy to share it. So if you want it, I can even do maybe I'll do a Loom video on how I use mine. And it's how I track things and it's how I repurpose content, which was inspired by another coach of mine, Lauren Najar, who kind of coached me through hey, this is how I repurpose content for my clients is I kind of track what performed well and what didn't so that, 6 months from now, oh, that's evergreen. I can repost that, work smarter, not harder, folks. So yeah, if you want a way to kind of track all that stuff, I am happy to share my document. It might take me, we'll find some time. This week, when this episode goes live, is actually the best week ever because I shouldn't say best week ever. I will miss my husband and my son deeply, but they are away at Boy Scout camp. So it's all me all week long to myself. I can work late. I can go to the driving range. I can do whatever I want. And it's amazing. Amazing. Anyhow, so once you kind of review those analytics and review your energy and review where things are working and where they aren't, kind of make a recommit and refocus plan. Set 1 to 2 goals for the next 90 days. And make them SMART goals. For the love of all things business, make them SMART goals. Don't just be I want more likes on Instagram. That is not helpful. That's not going to move your needle. That's not going to get you more sales. No. Hey, I want to make sure that I am selling my services on Instagram stories 2 times a week. That's actionable, right? And that's actually driving towards your goals. I want you to pick 1 platform or marketing strategy to double down on. Now, normally I would recommend 2, and I would say email or social, something that is owned by you and something that is rented. And we know that rented spaces like social media. Owned media is your blog, your podcast, your email, whatever. But pick a platform or marketing strategy and double down on it for the next 90 days. Right up until Q4. Just double down. And then figure out that one thing that is draining you, that you are constantly neglecting, whatever it is, and delegate. Delegate or ditch it. If you don't have anyone to delegate to, but you're hey, I'm trying to do this Substack thing and it's not really working for me, like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to stop. It's okay to stop. If you're trying to like do YouTube, like it is okay to stop, my friends. It's okay. So, in closing, we're going to reevaluate what's working, what's not working. We're going to look at our content calendar. Make sure it's aligned with your actual sales goals. Like, are you talking about your offers? Or if you're, for me, like, if I decide, like, hey, I don't necessarily want to book any VIP days in August, like, I probably shouldn't talk about VIP days in July, should I? Right? If I really want to sell my masterclass, or if I'm like, hey, I have a spot for a retainer client, like, oh, maybe I should talk more about my retainer work, right? So think about like how your calendar is actually driving towards those goals. And you don't always have to be selling. Like, we know that social media shouldn't always be selling. But if you don't talk about those pain points and tell those stories, share those transformations that your clients have had, then like that's not really salesy either, Like, you got to talk about those things. And then consider your energy. Like, what do you have energy for? What don't you have energy for? Do you want to take some time in August and like, hey, I need to set up some systems and some automations and maybe batch create some stuff this month so that I can take time off in August? I'm thinking about that for my own sake because we're trying to plan a trip to Vermont in August. And if you need some help doing this, I would love to have you check out the social media masterclass, which is now open. Yay! Yay! I really just like did the yay thing again because I'm recording this also on video. And I kind of want to capture that for like B-roll or something, like, yay! So you can either sign up, and if you message me, I may give you the code for $200 off registration, even if it's already expired. I can make some exceptions. It's 8 90-minute workshops. It is monthly content batching sessions, really to do that strategy reset. Like, now is the time to do it. We are going through mid-July until end of September, so it might even be like longer than 10 weeks. I don't even know. I kind of just was like 8 sessions. But for 10 weeks or the duration of the class, you get also Slack access to me, so you can ask questions, have me review things, all the fun things. Or you can book a strategy call, also in the show notes. So if you're interested in that, you can book that. And we are accepting a retainer client for an August start. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out if you are trying to delegate out your social media and or your email marketing. Reach out to me because we definitely are accepting 1 to 2 new clients right now. And until next time, go forth, evaluate your energy, but continue creating amazing content that stops the scroll.